I'm out of my video film class. I have no editing software anymore, so I'm gonna do this with zero editing. And this free stuff that's out right now sucks. So, um, point number one: intent. Intent is everything. Instead of interpreting a word such as nigger, bitch, chink, faggot, slut, cunt, or whatever, as interpreting that as no matter what context you say it in, it is an act of hatred. It's all about intent. It's all about whether you're intending it to be racist or hateful, or whether you want to bring attention to it in some other way, perhaps positive. In case any of you realize that that's possible, um, because if you interpret, which is part number two, making it someone else's problem, because there's a difference between having an opinion, like I don't like this word, I don't think you should say it. Yeah, people are hopefully going to respect that. I think that's the basic social rule. People are not going to say that word around you. But if you're interpreting it as an act of racism instead of just a dislike for the word, then that's no longer your problem. That's everyone else's problem. And if you think that something's an act of racism, what are you going to try and do? You're going to try and stop it. And now it's no longer your problem. That's everyone's problem. And it's going to end up in a lose-lose, taking us a bunch of steps back. Which brings me to point number three, counterproductivity. Counterproductivity is when the argument that, oh, we're going a million steps back when we're desensitizing our youth to certain specific words. Wrong, idiots. It's the exact opposite, because by censoring a word, regardless of context, you are turning it into a word that has so much negative feelings and energy around it. Is that what how what all the hatred and all the acts of racism and all that shit that happened in the past, was it really worth for this word to continue to be used because there's so much hatred and negative energy surrounding it? That's why I think that the easiest problem is to use it in a way that 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 turns it into less of a derogatory word and more of a word that just is, and is a word that becomes a good lesson to everyone, that that intent and context matters, and that being a surface level, like, a surface level person and interpreting it, oh, he said the word nigger, you lock him up. um, and then, I think the whole second argument against that, oh yeah, to finish up my last argument, yeah, we are being very counterproductive and surface level um, by arguing that in no matter what context you say a word in, you are being hateful, because that's making the word more hateful because you're painting it in that light. There's a whole argument that, yeah, you don't know what these people went through in the past, because there's these words have history behind them, and you need to respect that. And the thing is that if there was so much hatred in the past and so many people died or suffered, perhaps in vain, based on some word or something or another in the past, how how would you rather have this past be honored? One, through having the word remain a negative part of people's lives, or two, have the words, all like the words negative and negativity, um, erased because people are no longer being surface level and no longer being hateful about the word, and turning it into something much less negative, thus solving all the problems that we've had in the past. That's something that I've never heard very many people bring up. I also think that the idea that if you talk to someone and you don't know, like, you don't know what people went through, and if you say the word to them, it could invoke something within them. They'll have a Vietnam flashback, and they're gonna feel like they're being attacked, and that is true. An interesting way of thinking it is, it's not completely your intent that turns something into a racial slur. Um, if it doesn't hurt and everyone's fine with it, people can be shocked and offended that you said the word. That still doesn't make it racist, though. But if someone feels like they're being attacked racially because someone said the word, even if the intent by the word sayer is not to invoke hatred, the person may have such a bad history with the word that they might just feel racially attacked. And my thought about it is that we have to think long term, because if we think surface level in that aspect of the whole saying the word nigger and faggot and all these other slurs to people, um, short term, yeah, people are going to be hurt, and it's not going to be very fun for people at first. But if you think long term, if as long as it's not derogatory and racist in the intent, which is probably the most important thing, yeah, people are going to be hurt, but later on they'll realize, hey, these aren't even being used in a racially insensitive way anymore, not nearly as frequently as it was before. Because think about it, like in the state we are in now, no matter what you say, at some point you're going to hurt someone, and you're going to make them feel like they've been attacked. That's just how sensitive people are. Not everyone, but a hell of a lot of people. And there's nothing we can do about it. You can't change how people feel about something, or about just things in general, how people think about things in general. So thinking long term, what we should do is start using the word in a way that gets rid of all the negativity associated with it. Um, because people are inevitably going to be upset, and they might get a wee bit more upset if you use the word. Some people will be upset if you use the word in any context, but I think long term, society and their perception of a word will improve if we just stop trying to take like steps backwards and being counterproductive and censoring words regardless of context. That's you being service level. It's you being stupid. It's you not thinking properly through about social issues, because intent matters. And if you do not intend for it to be racist, then why do you have to make it other people's problems? Um, so that's my personal opinion. And as I said before, you can have your opinion about it if you want. Um, well, it's Brian. Good content. Signing out. Goodbye.